You're not broke. So why does money still feel heavy? Why do you check your bank account? Not because you need to, but because something inside you feels off. You have money. You've made progress. You're doing what you're supposed to do. So why does every purchase feel like a risk? Why does your chest tighten after spending something you can afford? This is the part no one talks about. Because the problem isn't your income. It's that your mind still thinks you're not safe. And until that changes, money won't feel like freedom. It will feel like pressure. There's a quiet tension that follows a lot of people, especially the ones who are doing fine, not struggling, not reckless, not financially lost, just heavy. You open your banking app more than you need to. You mentally calculate purchases even after you've made them. You feel a subtle drop in your stomach after spending even when it was planned, and you don't talk about it. Because from the outside, it doesn't make sense. You have money. So why does it still feel like something is wrong? This is where most people get confused. They assume the feeling means they need more money, more income, more savings, more control. But what they don't realize is this. Money isn't what they're trying to fix. They're trying to fix a feeling that doesn't respond to numbers. Core principles. Principle 1, you're not checking money, you're checking for safety. You don't open your bank account for information. You open it for reassurance. There's a moment right before you check where something feels slightly unstable. Not urgent, not dramatic, just off. And the act of checking gives you a temporary sense of control, but it fades quickly. So you check again later. This is not financial behavior. This is emotional regulation. Micro insight. You don't track money, you track how safe you feel. Principle 2. Money feels heavy because it carries meaning. Every dollar you have is not neutral. It represents something. Security, responsibility, future protection, mistakes you can't afford to make. So when money leaves your account, it doesn't feel like a transaction. It feels like something is being reduced, even when it's not. That's why spending feels uncomfortable, even when it's logical. Because you're not reacting to the amount. You're reacting to what it represents. Micro insight. Money is not heavy by itself, meaning is. Principle 3. The moment after you spend reveals everything. Pay attention to what happens right after you spend money. There's often a pause, a small drop, a quick mental replay. Was that necessary? Did I overdo it? Should I have waited? This isn't about the purchase. It's about the fear of consequence. Your brain jumps forward, imagining a future where this decision somehow leads to instability, even if that future is unrealistic. Micro insight. You're not reacting to the present cost. You're reacting to imagined loss. Principle 4. Stability doesn't automatically create safety. You reached a level of financial stability, but something didn't arrive with it. Relief. There was no clear moment where you thought, okay, now I can relax. Instead, the concerns just evolved. Different numbers, same tension. Because safety is not created by having money. It's created by trusting it. And most people never learned how to do that. Micro insight. Income can grow, but your sense of safety doesn't automatically follow. Principle 5, you built an identity around not losing money. At some point, being careful became part of who you are. You don't just manage money. You protect it. You monitor it. You anticipate risks. You avoid mistakes. And that worked. It helped you build stability. But now, that same identity has a cost. Because relaxing feels irresponsible. Letting go feels dangerous. So even when nothing is wrong, you stay alert. Micro insight. The behavior that built your stability is now maintaining your tension. Principle 6, your self-worth is quietly attached to financial control. You don't just feel better when your finances are stable. You feel okay as a person. And when something feels slightly off financially, even a small fluctuation, it hits deeper than it should. Because it's not just about money. It's about identity. I'm doing well. I'm responsible. I'm in control. So when money feels uncertain, you feel uncertain. Micro insight. You're not managing money. You're managing your sense of self through it. Principle 7. Your brain treats money like survival. This is where things get deeper. Your brain doesn't process money as a neutral resource. It processes it as protection, which means every decision carries weight. Every movement is monitored. Every loss, even small, feels like a potential threat. So you stay in a constant low-level state of alertness. Not panic, but never fully relaxed. Micro insight. To your brain, money is not about lifestyle, it's about survival. Principle 8. Enough keeps moving. There's always a number in your head. A point where you believe things will feel different. Once I reach this, once I have that, but when you get there, it doesn't land. Because your lifestyle adapts. Your expectations adjust, and your internal baseline shifts. So enough becomes a moving target. Not because you're greedy, but because your emotional system hasn't caught up. Micro insight. Enough is not a number, it's a feeling you haven't learned yet. Principle 9. You're managing anxiety, not just money. Saving. Checking, calculating. These look like smart financial behaviors, and they are. But for many people, they're also coping mechanisms. Ways to reduce internal tension. Ways to feel in control. Which means, even when the behavior is correct, the reason behind it matters. Because if it's driven by anxiety, it will never feel complete. Micro insight. You're not optimizing money, you're regulating emotion through it. When you step back and look at all of this together, a pattern becomes clear. You're not struggling with money. You're carrying something through money. Past experiences, old fears, learned behaviors, moments where money wasn't stable, or didn't feel safe, or wasn't there when it needed to be. And your system adapted. It learned to stay alert, to monitor, to prepare, and that adaptation worked. It helped you survive. But now, you're applying the same intensity to a situation that no longer requires it. So the weight you feel today is not about your current reality. It's about a pattern that hasn't updated. This is the shift. The problem isn't that you don't have enough. It's that your mind doesn't trust what you have. So what does this actually mean? It means that the feeling you've been trying to solve with more money was never going to be solved that way, because what you're looking for is not in your bank account. It's in your relationship with it. It's in your ability to sit with money without turning it into pressure, to spend without immediately questioning, to exist without constantly monitoring. This doesn't mean being careless. It means recognizing something important. Calm is not irresponsibility. You can be aware without being hypervigilant. You can be stable without feeling tense. You can have money and actually feel it. Because right now, you don't feel the money you've built. You feel the responsibility of protecting it. And those are not the same thing. If this felt familiar, then this isn't just about money. It's about how money shaped the way you feel, without you realizing it. And if you want to understand that relationship more deeply, that's what this channel is here for. 5 memorable lines. You're not tracking money, you're tracking how safe you feel. Money is not heavy by itself, meaning is, you don't have a money problem, you have a safety problem. Enough is not a number, it's a feeling you haven't learned yet. The problem isn't your income, it's that your mind doesn't trust it.